Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Happy Friday. I am hoping that you are or already should have had a good week. Listen, it is now 4th of July. First of all, it's 4th of July weekend, but this is the first day of the month. We start a whole new month, and we can talk about all the things that I think we should just consider when we start new months in general. And if you're a content creator, lean in because I got some things to help you with, new month goals. But let's just welcome you. First of all, welcome. And if this is your first time, don't make this your last. We talk about it all, from self-care, the things that are happening on the internet. We talk about life, anxiety, mental wellness, all the things. And always we try to end with self-care because self-care is a new trigger word, right? Everyone's talking about it. But the reality is that self-care is a daily care, something that we do for ourselves. Every single day, we think about the ways that we can serve ourselves. And not because we're serving ourselves to be on a selfish mode, but to consider ourselves, to put ourselves first, to give ourselves the things because we deserve it all. And today is no different. So we are definitely going to talk about the internet because we got skits, or maybe not a skit, on TikTok where, a baby mom, and I hate to call her that, like she's a woman that has kids, and she did a video where she shames the father of her kids, allegedly, with the fact that he didn't buy all of her kids. She has 4 kids. He only has the 1 kid with her. They were dating. They broke up. And he won't buy all of the kids McDonald's and will only buy just the one. If you are married to someone, and I mean married to someone or in a relationship with someone with children, it would be absolutely, completely wrong for you to come in the home with just the one meal for the child that you may have procreated with, right? Completely wrong. However, if you are dating someone, yes, that makes sense. But if you are no longer dating them, you have no connection to them outside of that child, you do not owe the other children a kid's meal. Now, could you be nice about it and bring them all one? Yes, if you chose to. But we're talking about obligation. We're not talking about should somebody do something, because even when we say somebody should do something, it's not a requirement. To be nice to someone else's kids is a beautiful thing. We don't want any child to feel slighted. But this is the thing. If you're a woman who has multiple children with different fathers, you probably have different situations set up for each of them. You wouldn't expect one father of one child to come and take all the kids on their weekend, right? Because they're not obligated. So I just feel like this skit, and I say skit loosely because as I went to research more on TikTok, it looks like she does a lot of skits. So people are saying, this is a skit, this is a skit. I don't know if it's a skit or not. What I do know is no one is obligated to take care of your children, to gift your children, to do for your children. Now, if you are a family member, you have an aunt, an uncle who is buying gifts and it's not a child's birthday, then listen, you come for one, then you come for them all. That's different. We're not talking about a family member. We're talking about someone who is someone you once dated. So if you didn't get a chance to see that on TikTok, I think you can even see it on Instagram because people have been floating this video all around. And again, once I went back into TikTok, did my due diligence to research, it looks like there's a chance, a small chance, that because she creates bunches of videos, that this could be one of those ones, and this is just causing her to go viral. It could very well be that it's not a skit, and this is truly how she feels. Either way, be very, 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 very careful who you have children with. Be very, 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 very careful when you go from one relationship to another and then you decide to have children with multiple people. Your children from multiple people are going to live, unfortunately, multiple lives. If you have one man of your children that comes in and he comes and takes that child and he does those things, you may have another child in the fold that doesn't have a father that's active. So again, when you have multiple children, your children will live multiple levels of lifestyle. It's unfortunate, but it is what happens when one decides to have multiple children. It is a new month. We are officially July 1st. The summer is moving fast. I think this is week 2. Yes, week 2 of my kids being home. They get out of school like in the middle of June. So it's almost like, it seems like they got out this year a little late, like almost the 3rd week in June. So yeah, it's only week 2. And we have been doing great with our summer plans. We have been doing good with what we call mom camp. And our home mom camp is basically me working around my schedule, working to make sure that I take them out, get them out and about, and not lose my sanity while I'm doing it, right? And so far, so good. We have gone to the library and done some various activities. We've done some nature hikes. We've done a lot. So what is my suggestion for parents who have the honor? I say the honor because not a lot of people can say that they do, that they work from home and you have your children and maybe they're not at camp because you're not sure about how camp is. Because to be honest with you, this is the first summer that we've had where we're, like Beyonce said, we're outside. You may not have felt comfortable putting them in camp. So how do you contend? One, meet all of your deadlines for work-related projects. Make sure you're A1 because you can't do nothing with them outside and pay for nothing outside if you don't have a steady income or you're out here trying to hustle or whatever the case may be. So do your job, do it well. When you can set about 2 to 3 days where you take your children out and about. And this doesn't have to be super extensive. We're talking about maybe somewhere for 4 hours, 2 hours. Find an activity. Simple as a lot. The library, we love going there. The movie theaters, we have done that this week and last week. Take them to the pool for a few hours and break it up. So for instance, if you take them to the pool in the morning, have them be done so that they can have their snack on the ride home, come home and have lunch and you go back to work. Or you do a whole morning, of your work. After lunch, take them to the pool or whatever activity and then have them come home, start their showers and then, start dinner. Find what works for you. Again, for the parents who have the privilege of being home, because there's plenty of parents who cannot afford to be home. They have to work their office, they're back in the office. They're not working from home. They're not a hybrid schedule. So you may have your kids with family. You may have your kids in camp. There is no right or wrong. We're only giving suggestions for people who are like myself, who have children, who are at home while they're working from home and trying to find a balance. The word balance is a word that we always are continuously trying to strive for, and that may look different for different people. And so keep in mind, whatever works for you, do that. But get these kids out. Listen, get these children out of the home. Let them stay outside. Let them enjoy that sun. Keep them hydrated. Keep them eating healthy. Do all the things. The other thing is, as we go into a new month, and we're in July, this is like the big heavy traffic travel. If you are traveling this weekend, especially for instance, in Philadelphia, they're claiming that it's going to be 415,000 people. I don't know where they got the numbers from, maybe because they see all the tickets, maybe. But this is one of the most busiest travel weekends. Be completely safe. Be watchful. When you go to the airport, they always tell you, don't let anybody leave a bag with you or ask you to take a bag. Don't do any of that. But bigger than that, just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. I know I love to have my headphones on when I travel, but for some, certain things, I'll keep my volume on low. Or if I have AirPods, I keep one pod in, one pod out. Be aware. And I keep saying the word be aware because sometimes I feel like, okay, we're outside, we're out here, we're ready to travel, ready to do our thing. But let's not let us not act as if the world around us is this most super, super duper safe spot, because it's not always the case. So keep yourself safe. Think about your safety. Think about the things that matter to you when it comes to your safety. And be careful wherever your destination does, go to. Because if you're out and this is your weekend to party, don't leave your drink lingering around. Make sure you have a designated driver and or get Uber or something. But also, in addition, if you're going to use Uber, don't just use Uber. Also make sure that you share your location with someone else. While you're in the car, you're using it because you don't want to drink and drive, but you have been drinking, so you may not necessarily be in the position to where you are alert or aware. Make sure that somebody is following your ride so they can see that you've gotten home, or they can make sure that you're on your way home. Be safe. So how do we prepare for a new month? Look at the goals that you should have set for June. And let's say you're at the position where you were just, you're outside, you're not paying attention. Maybe you didn't make any goals, but this is the perfect time. Some people only make goals at the beginning of a new year, right? Those New Year resolutions. Resolutions are great and goals are great, but goals are always being revamped, relooked at, and reassessed. I set goals for the week, you set goals for the month, you set goals for the quarter, you set goals for the year, and we're also going into a new quarter. So we're going to a new quarter, we're going into a new month. This is also eventually going to turn into a new week. Write down the things that are important to you. If you know last month you didn't drink water and you need to do better with water drinking, make drinking water your goal. But don't just write drinking more water. How do you plan to execute that goal? No matter how big or how small, don't just simply write the goal. How do you plan to achieve the goal? Do you have things in place to help you be successful? If you are trying to eat healthy, one of the best ways is to clean your cabinet and clean your freezer and clean your refrigerator. And I'm not talking about just surfacely. I'm talking about removing the things that you don't want to have in there because you don't want it to be a distraction for what you are doing. Do that. So if your goal is to drink more water, how do you plan to do that? Maybe it's time to get a diffuser cup where you can add fresh fruit into your cup so that it helps you drink it. Maybe you need to get a new cup altogether. I know this sounds crazy, but for those who know, you know. Drinking out of certain cups inspires you to continue drinking. So if you're the type of person that needs to get a brand new cup to encourage your drinking for water so that you can carry it with you all the time, do just that. It's not okay to just write your goal. You want to write a game plan so that you're focused and attentive and actively working towards your goal. Sometimes we say we want to, find a new job. You're tired of the job that you're at, or you're looking to step into a new career. What are you actively doing to achieve that? Are you setting a goal of, I'm going to put in my resume like between 10 to 20 resumes to 10 to 20 companies a week? Because listen, anybody who's out looking for a job, you already know that's a full-time job looking for a job. So set a goal. Put in 20 resumes with 20 different companies per week. If you don't have LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn and find leads. Set those goals. Maybe you set an hour where you look up leads. That's a goal. That's an attainable goal to help you find a new job or career. If it's education, where you may need to get an education or get some type of classes, have you looked up an option to see if there's an alternative for those classes? Sometimes you can find free ones. Sometimes colleges will give some type of free or online class that you can take that will help. This is taking a goal, writing that goal down, being active, and writing a game plan. How do you expect to get the goal done if you don't have a plan in place? We want to work smarter and definitely not harder this year. And one of the ways is being intentional about how we move in the way that we move. If you are a content creator and you're looking to find more deals and brands or brand deals, what is your goal? How many pitches have you sent out for the month? Pitches are basically letters or some type of in writing communication, whether email or direct, usually emails. Sometimes people can pitch. You can pitch even in social media, meaning in a DM. I would say if you're going to pitch into a DM, you should make it very extremely brief and then ask them who they should direct the email to. But if you're a brand or a content creator that's looking to do more brand deals, how many pitches are you sending per week? If you don't even know the answer to that question, then that's what you should be focusing on. You need to be sending, and you need to set your number for how many brand deals pitches you're doing. And be aware, are you going to get a lot of no's? The answer is yes. You're going to get a lot of no's or non-responses. Just continue to keep moving. Find other brands. There's 1,000,001 brands that you can do. There's 1,000,001 brand deals that there are to be made. And remember, there's brand deals to be made from different aspects, meaning you can pitch for TikTok, you can pitch for Instagram, you can pitch for your blog, you can pitch for Twitter. There's a lot of different ways that you can do your pitches. So be open to different options. And again, be organized. Write down who you're sending them out to, the name, the number, or the address, or the email, as well as the title, the date, and the time that you sent it. And then give yourself a time to follow up, maybe 3 days, depending if it's, usually during the week. And also be respectful of people's time. Don't send a pitch after 5:30. Don't send a pitch before 9 a.m. Almost the perfect time to send a pitch is at 11 a.m. And always include your handle or your name inside of the subject line, because they're going to get a lot of pitches, a lot of emails, a lot of, ask. So make sure that you are organized in how you pitch per month, per week. If you are trying to, let's say, lose weight, what does that look like for you? First of all, determine your why. Why are you losing weight? Is it because you want to become healthy? Kudos to you. Is it because you want to look better in clothes? That's totally okay. Let me be really real with you. So many people say that you shouldn't lose weight to look a certain way in clothes, but I would beg to differ. Our bodies have lumps and bumps all over them because that's just how our bodies work. And if you want to look a certain way in your clothes in general, there's nothing wrong with that being your goal. Always continue and consult with, obviously, your doctor, obviously your nutritionist, and make sure that your goals are attainable. You cannot lose 100 pounds in a week just because you're going on vacation. But you can decide that you can put a 50-pound goal and make that for the first 6 months to a year and make that your goal. Nothing is wrong with that. So make sure that you have a goal in mind. Don't just write the goal down. Write the plan. How do you plan to achieve this weight loss? Is it in how you cook? Is it actually eating out less? Eating at home more? Is it meal prepping? What physical activity do you plan to use? These are the ways to look at your goals. No matter what they are, look at the goal, write the goal down, write a plan, and execute the plan. Now, while we're achieving these goals are beautiful to have. But while we are achieving these goals, we want to also make sure that we just take a little bit of time for some self-care. How do you decide or practice your self-care for your daily life? Meaning, every single day you should find some ways to practice self-care. Self-care comes in many forms. It's not just bubble baths or getting a massage or all these different things. You can do 1,001 things to achieve your self-care. Sometimes self-care, again, is taking something as simple as taking a nap or enjoying your favorite beverage or reading your magazine because you have them piled up like myself, and I'm talking to myself at that moment. But whatever it is, self-care is extremely important. So while you're doing your goals and you're writing down the things that you want to do, please make sure that you include a few things that you can do either every day or a few times a week that can help with your mental and your mindset. Taking time for yourself is not selfish. This is why the whole phrase self-care is not selfish is becoming new, not necessarily new phenomenon, but it's been a more pushed phenomenon because so many years we have been going and going and going, and no one has ever told us to slow down. No one has ever told us to take a break, and no one ever told us that it was okay for us to take a break. We took vacations here and there, but the reality is that we didn't do enough for ourselves even when we're not in vacation mode. I am a blogger as well, and on the blog I spoke to about this week is sometimes we be having these mindsets and these phrases like, oh, I sure need a vacation. Are you sure you need a vacation, or do you actually just need some self-care? Are you expending yourself a little too thin or stretching yourself a little too thin in areas that you shouldn't even be in? There are so many times that we take on other people's things and then we think that they're ours. And then when we sit back and we actually think about it, we've given our time, our attention, and God knows our money to areas that we shouldn't even be in. So take 5 seconds. It could be while you're listening to this podcast or even afterwards, and ask yourself, are you spreading yourself too thin? And if you find that you're spreading yourself too thin, let's thicken up a couple areas. For instance, it's nothing wrong with doing for others. You should always find a way to do for others, but not at the expense of yourself. You cannot pay someone else's rent and then not pay your own. You can't help somebody pay their light bill and your light bill's not paid. Or, for instance, when it comes to time, you can't give to other people's children and give them someone else's child all of your time while the kids in your own home are lacking. Learning to fill up your cup before you can fill up others is a very, very good way to live. We used to give ourselves and over to the things and other people and never get anything in return. I've often said to myself, I wish I could have a me from me. Well, when you feel yourself saying that, it's often because, if not always, the times that we find ourselves extending ourselves beyond our measure, beyond our means. Your time and your energy is extremely valuable. I can't express enough how many times we have given our energy, and especially our energy, to people who didn't deserve it. It's like being at a party, catching eyes with someone, and talking with them. At first, the conversation is going really well. Then all of a sudden it takes a turn and you realize you gave in all of your time and all of your energy and it didn't produce anything. So be mindful of who you're around, how long you're around for them, and again, make sure that your cup is full. Having an empty cup and then trying to pour from something, it doesn't look good. I want you to take a little bit more time to think about your self-care while you're completing your goals. So for instance, if your goal is to lose weight, this is not the time that you just deprive yourself of all things. You have to learn how to have a healthy mindset with food. If you're an emotional eater, eating when you're upset may not be the best thing. So how do you find a better way? Well, one, I would always, again, talk to a nutritionist. They can explain to you in better ways than I can about how it is important for you to learn the food that you bring in and how we use that food for energy. I think sometimes we just eat things just for the sake of eating them. This is why you never go to the grocery store with an empty stomach. Eat before you go, because sometimes when you're picking up stuff, you're picking it up according to what you would want at that moment. Another thing I would say, when it comes to our self-care, when it comes to completing our goals, and when it comes to keeping our cups full, it's okay to have me time. Now, you may be a single mom or a couple who doesn't always have access to a childcare, but this is when you have to lean, if you're a couple, leaning into one another. If mom needs a break, give mom a break. And if dad needs a break, give dad a break. If you're a single parent, build yourself a single moms club. This means that we get the one mom who watches the set of kids and everybody rotates their time out. Now, I know that's a movie from Tyler Perry, but it's actually a real reality. A lot of communities, a lot of people are coming together to find out how they can serve each other in the best way so that everybody wins. Although it's a movie, it can actually be a real reality, a good resource for you to actually have a good support system and have friends for your kids as well as friends for yourself. So now that we talked about our goals and we're moving towards our goals and we're talking about our self-care, can we just get into at least one more internet issue? Now, when I say internet issue, I don't necessarily mean a problem. Just a couple of things that I've been noticing happening on these internet streets. So last Sunday was the BET award show. And Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love, all these names that he loves to give himself, has won a Lifetime Achievement Award. Kudos to him. He has been in the game for over 20-something years and is absolutely deserving. His speech, semi-trash. Go with me. I don't know if he was under the influence of anything, but that speech was very much giving shenanigans. And I'm going to say that because it just didn't go anywhere. It was just all over the place. There was a lot of rambling. And I know we all do it, but it's the who he shouted out and who he thanked. I have no problems with him still honoring the mother of his child or his children, because he has at least a set of twins with with his mother, with the mother of his children. And I know he has more. Just relax. But I have no problems with him still mourning the death of the mother of his children. My only hope is that he would have done those things, honored her, and if he wanted to be with her or loved her to that extent, he could have found a way to be with her. Now that's what I would want. Let's keep it real. He may not have been the person that she needed for herself. P. Diddy is not the marrying type, obviously, and he's not the settling down type. He can be with somebody for long periods of time as long as you're with them under his, set of boundaries. And that's completely evident by the fact that the city girl that he's with, Carisha, or that he's not with because he's not fully claiming her. And again, it's the same cycle. I find it very interesting, and I was talking to my husband, I believe, about this about a couple weeks ago, about men who decide that they're going to be bachelors for the rest of their lives, right? I have no problems with that, as long as you're honest and open with the partner or partners you choose to be with, right? Some people are okay being lifetime girlfriends. Not my cup of tea, but a cup of tea nonetheless. Some people tell themselves that they're okay with certain things that they know that they're not. I can't say that Carisha or the city girl is okay with, being his new fling, because, she was just on the internet fighting with another woman about who is actually with Diddy. Honestly, I don't care if he's with her or not. As long as two consenting adults are making two decisions that are best for both of them, that is what I care the most about. Now, I don't know where Diddy falls in line with that, but it's more little telltale where when he's mourning the death of his mother of his children, and he's saying how much he loved her and, would have been with her and all these different things. But he was already in a lifetime relationship with Cassie before she left him, got married, and had 2 children. I know there's plenty of women who don't even date or marry celebrities who live and do the same things. They tell themselves that they're okay with the status of their relationship and the way that the relationship is going, but oftentimes they're really not as excited about it. They want more from it, but they're willing to take whatever they're getting. It's not neither right, nor is it nothing wrong. I just want for all adults to be able to find the love that they truly want and that they truly need and that they truly are deserving. So if Carisha, aka the city girl, is okay with her relationship with Diddy, and as long as she truly feels that way, then kudos. But if Diddy is okay with that, kudos to him. But if it's not, I hope that he can find the courage to really get what he wants and everybody becomes happy. Like, it's too many years we don't have that many years here on this earth. And earth is already ghetto, right? Don't be on this ghetto earth with the limited time that we have and waste it. Wasting years, now that right there, isn't it? Think about all the men that you've dated or the women that you've dated. They didn't turn into anything. You feel like wasted years. Or at least I did. So don't waste your time with a man or a woman who's going to basically give or not give you what it is that you truly want. And never, 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 never. Be okay with something that you truly don't stand by. And as we switch gears, can we talk about direct messaging or the DM? As I stated before, if you're a content creator, I have no problems with people DMing a company and asking, hey, my name is this. This is what I do. I think I would be a great asset to your company. And is there someone that I can contact so that I can get an email so that we can start the conversation. Nice and sweet, completely quick, and to the point. The use of the DM. Lately, or not even lately, in general, DMing people can be ghetto as well. And let me tell you why. Companies have slid into my DMs, and I don't have a problem. I am going to super vet you like a hawk if someone slides into my DM being a company. And the reason why is that my email is always in my profile. So I feel like, the fact that people are not recognizing that they can or do already have the information that they need to get in contact with me. So it's a little weird. Also, the use of DMs for people in the past. In these several weeks, I've had 3-4 DMs from people from my past. And when I say my past, I don't even mean a dating past, just people that I've known who very much know that I'm married, who very much are just like, hey, how's everything going? And I'm like, I'm doing well. How are you? Long time no see. Keep it general. Keep it moving. I'm not leaving my husband. And let's be real. I'm 99.9 of the 999% sure. Actually, no, that's a lie. I am 100% sure that I'm not leaving my husband for anybody that's sliding in my DM, unless it's Morris Chestnut. That's why I gave the 99.9. Because unless it's like a Morris Chestnut or somebody with a verified tag of a, crush that I've had, I ain't leaving my husband. Let's be real. So, the use of DMs for personal conversations are cool as long as we keep it clean and keep it respectful. But the use of DMs to try to slide in my DM to get my number, what poor K? What do you need it for? What are you going to do with it? I have friends. I don't want to be your friend. Even if we were cool people from back in the day and you're of the opposite sex. For me, I really don't need too many friends. I have too many friends as it is right now. Too many acquaintances, I should say. Too many contacts. I go to lots of media events 3 or 4 days a week, so I run into too many people. And by the time I come home in my personal space, unless you're one of my close friends, child, I want to digress, sit in my house with my pajamas on, with no makeup on, and enjoy my children. I'm not looking for friends. People would be using these DMs and be doing the most. And there's people that you don't even know who are trying to DM you, and they just be having the craziest of questions. Let's go over some DM etiquette. 1, do not click on any links of somebody that you don't know. And even the ones that you do know, if somebody that I do know sends me a link, I'm actually going to text you and say, hey girl, did you send me this link? Because they are scamming people here in these DMs and on these social media worlds. And I don't have the time for it. So yes, if I know you and I get a DM from you that has a link and I know you well, I'm going to text you and ask you, did you send me that link? So I can gather the information and decide what to do after you say yes or no. If you are a stranger, I am not clicking on any links that you send because you're not about to steal my information or have access to my account or just have access to my phone or my computer. Not going to do it. And you should start doing the same thing. There are too many things going on where people are duplicating accounts, and I've been praying, Lord, baby Jesus, keep mine near the cross so that nobody don't take it and do nothing stupid with it. Okay? So be aware. Don't click on any links, no matter if you know them or not. And for all those who are DMing people to shoot your shot, listen, I'm not anti-shoot your shot. But there ain't no way the Lord told you to shoot your shot to a married woman, because that I am not your spouse, nor am I your potential spouse, your wife, or soon to be, or hopeful. Okay? If Jesus wanted you to shoot your shot, he's going to tell you to go shoot your shot with a single person. And this is the thing. You too need to be single. So if you are a married woman or a married man, Jesus did not tell you to go shoot your shot at any single person, or married or wise. He wanted you to fix the marriage that you went into, whether he told you to do it or not. You still did. You have an obligation Keep your obligation. Don't shoot your shot at married people. And married people, stop shooting your shot at other people as well. Because it's not just the ones that hit on married people. It'd be the ones that be married. Does your spouse know that they're single? Does your spouse know that they're single? Because you're single. You're married but single. I don't get it. We got to get on do better. The DM is a great spot for, again, quick messaging, questions, communication, and asking for something as long as you keep it sweet and short. And even if you want to shoot your shot, just make sure that you are in the appropriateness of shooting your shot. You're single, shooting your shot at a single person. I have seen people who have been in the DM, they did their shoot their shot and are married with kids. And then there are others who have shot their shot and have been ignored. Or they've gotten together and realized that that person looks good on the internet, but their lives may not align with what they thought they were getting off the internet. Anybody can be who they choose to be on or offline. So make sure no matter if you're talking to someone in person, because we outside now, you're back into the socialization and meeting new people. Be careful in who you're shooting your shot with and who you're talking with and who you're dealing with. And lastly, as we end the show, because we're going to leave it short and simple for this week, going into the 4th of July weekend, what are we doing for 4th of July? Are you traveling? Are you having family time? Are you cooking out? Are you relaxing? What is your plans for the 4th? I will not be relaxing. This is a bachelorette / also birthday weekend for one of my friends and meet up for another friend. So this is going to be a long weekend. There's not that many social media events for myself, but these other events are going to be occupying my entire weekend. And so that is what I am doing. My family will be getting their lives together and doing their thing. We will meet up here and there. But other than that, we should have a pretty relaxing weekend. So I look forward to that. And that's about it for me for the weekend. I have some more stuff with the kids, with the traveling for next week, as far as like getting them together for their mom camp. We'll see how that goes. I want to take them to some water parks and get them all together. And that's what I'll be doing. One of the last things I want to say with the 4th of July weekend is, and I'm sure this is everywhere, but in the city of Philadelphia, I hate playing the game of, was that a firework or was that a gunshot? I really do. This is probably, and I do remember, and again, I'm sure this happened all over the place too, but in Philadelphia during the pandemic, people were shooting off fireworks for no apparent reason. Now, some of that was people trying to blow up the ATMs too, but most of it was just shooting off fireworks randomly. So now that we're in the fireworks weekend, I dread it. Because I hate that feeling of, is this, is it not? Now, if I'm at a fireworks show, that's different. But I'm literally talking about sitting at home, enjoying your family, watching some TV together or playing a game, and then hearing the pops, and then trying to figure out, and today's episode of, was that a gunshot or was that a firework? It is annoying. So if you are the type of person, for whatever your affiliations are, or you have family members who have whatever their associations and affiliations are, can we please stop shooting into the air? Those bullets have to come down. And when they come down, they usually hurt, injure, or kill innocent bystanders. Every time. So, we're not going to do that. We're not going to shoot into the air. We're going to enjoy our weekend by not going through any of those shenanigans or foolishness. Because again, we all want to be able to enjoy, I like the sound of fireworks when I'm aware that that is what it is. I just don't like the fact that we're having to determine or figure out which one is which. I think that's really just my biggest thing. Is it a gunshot or is it a firework? Let us just have a good firework weekend. And listen, be careful. So many people blow their hands off, fingers, toes, and be burning themselves up with a firework. If you don't know how to work a firecracker, it's not up for you to try to learn at the last second. It's almost like Thanksgiving when it comes to, trying to put the Thanksgiving dinner together, but ain't no one confirmed that your cooking is at the level where you can be doing Thanksgiving. It's giving me the same vibes. Work with someone who knows what they're doing, because the injuries, like, I feel bad. I honestly do feel bad for the medical field this weekend, because especially in Philadelphia with the gunshot victims or the deaths, and then you have the people who are blowing themselves up on fireworks, and then again the whole drug related or alcohol related illnesses or the alcohol related deaths because of car accidents and DUIs. I really just want us to be mindful. Like, let us be mindful so we can all go into this weekend and come out the same way. We don't want to be hurt and injured and all the things. Let's find a better way to do the things that we need to do for ourselves, our families, our communities. And we're starting a new month, starting a new quarter, and eventually next week we'll be starting a new week. Like, let's have a good time and do it right. Like Beyonce says, we're outside, but can we be outside the right way and be safe and conscious of each other and mindful of the people around us and where we're doing and how we're moving? Because that would make everything so much easier, so much better. So thank you for listening to this week's Conversations with Toy. We talked about self-care. We talked about goal setting, and not just setting goals and writing them down, but actually making a plan. We talked about, is this internet drama of the baby mom who decided that she was going to throw out the food of the man who bought his one child some food and didn't bring the other three. Do we think it's a hoax? My investigative skill says there's a good chance that it was a hoax. Maybe it's not. We don't know. And then, of course, is it a gunshot or is it a firework? We want to be safe as we go into the 4th of July holiday. Remember, I can't stress enough, I love a great cocktail. I love wine. I love champagne. I love all the alcoholic things, beers, all of it. But let's not drink and drive. Let's be safe. Let's get an Uber and sharing our destination with one trusted person. Let's make sure that we are, having friends or a designated driver. Let's be safe this weekend. And come back again next week as we talk about it all with Conversations with Toy. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We hope that your week is going to be great. And as we start a new month, I hope that you reach all of the goals, but also put in the work so that it feels so much better when you've put in the work and then you see your fruit of your hard labor and you're out here just gathering all the things and enjoying it. But do not forget self-care. It is so important for you to add self-care on your list so that you can become the best version of yourself. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week with Conversations with Toy.
Thank you as always for joining me, and I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.